Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Brent. We're going to be going over some big things that's going to be happening this month in the cryptocurrency world. If you haven't, do subscribe and drop a comment below. So there's a lot of things going on, right? So everything that you do, you should do this within your own opinion. Now, I'm going to share with you my opinions, and of course you should do that for yourself, especially before spending your own money and how you're going to actually kind of follow what's going on. Alright, so let's get going. So a big thing is actually the Kusama crowd loans. So this is going to be not the first, but the second season of this, the second round. And so today, we're actually going to see crowd loans actually coming up. So now, of course, Terra Network is the, let's say, sister company or like the child of it, of Polkadot, right? So the first set of auctions is happening for Kusama. It really had some really big results recently. So, like the first one, Moon River. So, which is like kind of like a second version of Kusama. So, Moon River really jumped up with like a 6x return. So now it's actually doubled. So you do the math there, right? So this is going really, really far out. And why is that? Why is this really big? So what makes that is exactly that you get the Kusama back. And that really helps you because you get a lot of your profits back from the auction. And then you get the KSM. So that's really good, right? So, alright. So, all of this money you can make, you can really do this, just do from the first. And now you're going to be able to do it more. Like how Moonbeam, Kala, and the rest of the projects as well are actually going up. So now we have the second round coming. So you'll see even more contenders that's actually going to try to take advantage of those positions. So, alright. So this starts today. Don't wait. And this will be for like 5 weeks or so. So of course it will continue and continue. But you should be excited as I am to see this happening. So the Polkadot system is actually going to be really booming. It's really going to be fruitful and on Kusama. So you should actually go ahead and kind of play around, experiment a little bit. And so that means also as well is that we're just not too far away from seeing this actually happening on Polkadot main chain, the chain here. So soon they should, or I think that they will announce when they'll actually have these auctions on their main chain. So as far as we're seeing the height kind of come up around, we'll see this as well. So you'll see this price height build around this too, around Polkadot anyways. And so we'll get more of an idea when they're going to launch on the main chain here. So for now, of course, Kusama is going to constantly be making money for you right now. So watch this and don't miss an opportunity. So, okay, let's continue. NFTs, the second thing here. The Born 8 Yacht Code NFTs. This will be auctioned off of Sophites. So this is actually very big. It's one of the biggest ones, the auction houses, right? So the name, you can't be in crypto without knowing this name. So it went really wild, and like it kind of just like really just exploded. All right. So the minimum floor price for these, 15 Ethereum. So that's pretty great, right? So that went great. So all right. Now big investors are spending a lot of money into this. So if big investors are doing NFTs, it's not just the boarding yacht club either. So a lot of high-profile sales are like Christie's as well, and they're going to be doing a big sale of art as well. So let's see. All right. What else? Let's see. Let's take a look. So. Kind of getting into it too. So all of these high-profile accounts are really focusing in on these, and so they're starting to invest in themselves. And so that's really big news, and it gives you really help. So I know I don't want to sit around and wait. So they're making lots of money. I want to be making a lot of money. So it's going to be in the news everywhere. So watch that. And so the high profiles, watch them really closely. So you don't want to miss those. Now, speaking of this, so the third one, Columbus will actually be coming to Terra too. So Terra can actually be really important. And so you really need to kind of do some research on like the price is going to be of this, and try to like really break down Terra for yourself as much as possible. So it's going to be a big event for Terra Network. So being that Terra is a top 20 cryptocurrency network, so it's, Terra is pretty big, it's well known. So it's growing in market cap. So everybody wants to take advantage of this. So the 19.5% of this is like, man, that's really like out of this world for a return. That's really good. So when I can't find words for it. So Columbus 5 is a big upgrade for Terra, and that's going to really, we're going to see that this is going to, well, we're going to have interruptibilities. They're going to be kind of coming to Cosmos SB. More Luna burning, and that's going to happen too. So that's actually, that Luna asset's going to really grow too with that. So when some things happen with that upgrade, we're going to have more applications, and that's going to kind of drop into Terra too. And why is that interesting? Because Terra is going from a low market cap to actually one of the top 15, top 20. I'm going to say 15 or 10. So with the Chiab, Anchor protocols, all of this is really kind of like helping kind of build as well. All right. So with the new products that they're going to have, that's going to take in everything. So all of the apps that they do, the UST is really going to take in all that. So, but to do that, you need to like get into Luna. All right, just to kind of like put everything together and to look at it, when you see these major changes or changes, upgrades, however you want to name it. So everybody's going to see the rumors, like you say, like sell or buy, right? And so the price will kind of like work around, and that's just based on Ethereum. So when you see the occurrence of it, right, like how often this is actually working, so you'll be able to see. That launch is actually going to happen on September 9th. So you'll see a little bit of a cheaper price for Terra kind of around that time. And that's my speculation. So that's pretty big, that's pretty bold, and everybody's expecting that to do pretty well here in the near future. And if it does kind of happen, right, by the rumor, of course. So it's a big deal. It's a big modification. It's a big upgrade. So we can try to check that out. Now, another buy the rumor or sell the news victim, Cardano. They're getting some pretty cool things. They're getting like smart contracts on the 12th of September. So I'm excited for that a little bit. So this is going to be a big situation for them. So to get this, and like how if you're going in that direction for that, that's really going to be good. So once all these projects actually really come out, you're going to see more and more launches, and they're going to be showing really on Cardano. So with the NFT protocols and so forth, and other stable coins as well. Now these are going to launch on Cardano, so once these go live, it's really going to be a big event, so you can't miss that. So you're looking at like 11 days from now. So watch that with a close eye. So take out your magnifying glasses and really kind of pay attention to that. So it's a big situation. So if you really love the cryptocurrency, it's going to be very exciting for you. So it's number 3 by cryptocurrency market cap. So when you see these actually kind of coming up, you're going to see a lot of people really aiming into that with the NFTs as well. So once you see them, you're going to really, get that adrenaline. But of course, it's buy or sell the news. So So either way, no situation is really going to be too bad for it. So it's something to look forward to. Again, I can't say this enough, and you're going to be able to really catch it. A lot of people don't really look at it the right way, and they think that a lot of these events can be negative, but that's not necessarily the case. So it can kind of drop down, but you kind of clean everything out, and you can kind of build it back up, and events really start to really kind of pick up, and you can kind of see the real reason. So when it starts to lower down a little bit, even if it's just a little bit, it's a great time to buy. Maybe not if it crashes, but just, of course, if it's just kind of going down just a little bit, it's a great time, especially if you're a long-term investor for this. All right. Now the next one, the Federal Reserve. Now, everybody watches the Federal Reserve. And, of course, it can be rather intriguing, right? Now, the 21st of September, there's going to be a Federal Reserve meeting. As we tapering with it, right? So if you're not quite sure what tapering is, the Federal Reserve is going to start cutting or reducing bonds that it's buying each month. And so they want to do that before the end of the year. What does that mean for for us as the investors? Probably nothing, but it could be a lot as well. So when you watch this, though, you can kind of see without any kind of crypto market is not really going to be immune to any kind of problems. So perhaps if it does happen, right, so they're buying fewer bonds, and so when they do this, it can cause a little bit of a problem in the equity market. So you'll see this shaky kind of earthquake wave. And so they'll take that kind of dip, right, as well, so when they do that. But of course, depending on how much of that taper will happen. Because we're not too sure, we have that uncertainty, it's going to really make you a little nervous. But as it gets closer to this, and when they actually put this in thing, it's going to lower things quite a little bit. So there'll be a little bit of a correction, which it could actually lead a correction to the crypto market, but that's a could. So for investors that are trying to get into the cryptocurrency, they're going to start panicking and selling if they believe that it's going to be lighter. So if it goes 5 or 10 or 15%, they might just completely get out of Bitcoin and try to get into cash. Buy it, of course, a little bit later in the future. It'll be interesting to watch. So the fact that they're already expecting it, it could be a big of a deal. It could be not. So just kind of keep, again, trying to watch on it a little bit, kind of follow. And of course, it could impact, but it couldn't be dramatically either. So it can be rather small. But again, everything that the Federal Reserve does, you should really kind of watch that, because based on the reaction, it can actually, reach way out and kind of grab us as investors. So again, when you have if it does have a big impact, it can kind of make everybody worried. Now, of course, the U.S. is one of the biggest cryptocurrency market investors, so that's why you should kind of follow along about this tapering, right? So they're talking about it, but how soon it will actually come and how much will it do? It's not even so much about when, but how much will it do? All right, the last topic for discussion: the infrastructures that's coming inside of the United States, right? All right. So party leaders are wanting to vote on it by September the 27th. So, of course, they're wanting to pledge, and to kind of do this, right? To vote on it, but that means really nothing, right? Because politicians do typically like to make a promise, but they don't quite follow through, right? I asked myself this question: why is it important? I'm going to explain. The infrastructure actually has some of the most difficult legislature on cryptocurrency. So now the fact that it can have good and negative things, if it does like pass as the current form, or if it gets amended later, it gives a big amount of legitimacy to cryptocurrency. So for institutionalized investors, here's this clarification, there's your tax clarification, there's this. And so we can bring you, lots of money and pump the market up. So, we'll have to pay attention to that. So depending on if they amend it or they actually re-get the original copy. So it will be positive, either way. But breathe a little bit. And you do want to see a amended version of this. Of course, the Senate, they weren't able to do this. And of course, it just happens. But they didn't get it done, so they didn't get any votes for it. But perhaps if the current version actually happens, it'll make it difficult for like miners, stakers, and some other developers and a lot of products and stuff used to comply with regulations when using decentralized networks. So it's going to kind of like give a good shove to more businesses to centralize. But the Coinbase will have license for this. And you're not going to be able to do it on your own without actually having a license or a broker license. So the chances of that is pretty low. The Treasury Department stated that they don't want to enforce this. And they're going to kind of look at what the definition of a broker really shouldn't quite apply to this. But in the future, what's written in the bill could be applied later, right? So we want to really hope that the unamended version doesn't go through. So we do want it to be amended so we can have this blanket, right? So they can protect us. The U.S. is wanting to really make sure that the environment's really good for users, miners, and that way we can have this clarity. So the U.S. legislation can go on forever, right? I'm going to pray and hope that we get the amended version, but if not, it's not exactly bad, but it's a win, but not quite how we wish, right? So just kind of like check it out again too, and pay attention, and really be hopeful, right? So once we get that, I think we'll do just fine. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Do hit the subscribe button, drop a comment below, and I will see you on the next time. All right, goodbye.